What does it mean to be gentle? Now, I wanted to make a short video that hopefully it'll prove to be just an encouragement to each of us. Last week, I spoke at a local school where I gave a devotional about the strength and the kindness of Jesus. I've been teaching a theology class on Wednesday evenings about different Christian doctrines. On Sundays, I've been preaching through the Gospel of Matthew, looking at Jesus' life, ministry, words, and actions. And devotionally, I've been reading through a book on pastoral ministry a few days each week. And I have been just continually pressed in regard to this concept of gentleness. Biblical gentleness, it is not weakness. And it certainly isn't conflict averse, just running from speaking plainly, honestly, and courageously, doing hard things when they have to be done. Let me make a quick remark and an illustration, and then I want to connect it to the idea of Christian discipleship. Now, I've read something to the effect that gentleness is a godly display of power. Again, not weakness, but godly power leveraged in a gracious way. So think of it like this. I use this as an illustration with some young children recently. When you hold a kitten, when you're being gentle with it, what are you doing? You are exercising your power in a very particular way. A baby kitten, you could just easily crush that thing. And for the record, I am very anti-cats. Don't come at me. We could exercise power by squashing that thing, but gentleness is an intentional display of power that demonstrates softness, tenderness, and a disciplined consideration. Now, we can admit, it is easier to be gentle with a kitten than with people and the world out there, and you may have someone specific in mind. I do too. Here's what the Apostle Paul says in 2 Timothy 2. The Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but kind to everyone, able to teach, patiently enduring evil, correcting his opponents with gentleness. God may perhaps grant them repentance leading to a knowledge of the truth, and they may come to their senses, Paul says. Christians are to be marked by a kindness to everyone, teaching, discipling, patiently enduring, correcting opponents, yes, but doing it with gentleness. They may come to their senses as you correct them. And I'm confident, I have many praying that I would come to my senses. What brings reformation and change to our hearts in this world? People willingly, lovingly, discipling, teaching, and correcting with a lot of patience, with the courage to confront things that need to be changed, but we do it with gentleness. We leverage our power with a tender disposition. So here are just some probing questions that I've read that may spark some thoughtful, reflective, and purposeful prayer as you look at your own heart and life. So first, is this conflict about me, my ego, my preferences, my threatened illusion of control? Or is this really about the Lord and His gospel and the church? Is this for my glory or for Christ? Am I remembering that my greatest enemy is not others, but my own sin? Second, am I going with or against my flesh, which inclines me to fight when I shouldn't? Am I going with my flesh or against it? Third, am I simply angry at my opponents, desiring to show them up, to expose them, to cancel them, or am I compassionate for them, genuinely praying that God would free them from deception and grant them change? Am I inclined to anger against them? And here's the best one. Are tears for them even a possibility? Conflict in this world is not optional. You will face it and should willingly press into it when it comes. And as I've heard it said, we have a God and a gospel big enough even for this. Here's a helpful quote to finish. Being saved by Him, we Christians, which means literally little Christ, we learn increasingly to follow in His steps, empowered by His Spirit to move toward conflict, toward need, toward pain, toward tension, looking past the imposing awkwardness and difficulty that lies before us to the promise of joy on the other side. As we do this, may we be marked by a godly display of power. Christian love and gentleness. Hope that's an encouragement to you.